Hi, welcome to So Much Talk with Ruthie K of Ruthie K's Inc. and
Anna of RK Artisans.
and today I'm going to explain why I do what I do. I am a seamstress. I can design and I love to design. But what I really like and why I consider myself more of a seamstress is I like to take whatever you have and help you feel confident in your clothes and yourself. Because when we wear things that fit us well and look well on us, then we feel much better about ourselves. So that's the goal in the bottom line of why I do what I do. If you're not feeling good, then one of the things you can do is dress up. And this is male or female. If you're wearing something that you feel good in and totally comfortable in, and like you look good, then you feel better. And people's response to you is better. For example, when I was in high school, I had a bright pink dress. I hate pink. I truly am not fond of pink. For those of you who love pink, it's totally okay. I love it on other people. I just don't want to wear it as a rule.
I love
But
it out in the world. I don't want it. I don't want it on me.
exactly. It's perfect in a sunset or a
It's absolutely
sunrise. It's
gorgeous.
gorgeous. And on a lot of other people who really enjoy pink,
Mm-hmm.
I love it. And some people, it really looks good on them. Well, obviously, it looks good on me too, because if I wasn't feeling good, I'd wear this pink dress. And everybody would say all day long, "Oh, you look so good. You just look so lovely. Aren't you having a good day?" I mean, and I would start having a good day. I would start feeling better. Even if I didn't feel physically good, I would feel better than I did because you're getting positive feedback. And so often we do the exact opposite. If I don't feel good physically, I want to get in my scrunchiest clothes and I want to hide under my blanket and I don't want to do anything. And yet, usually that doesn't make me feel very good if I do that for long. A lot of times I'll feel even worse. Same thing, especially when we go out. And some of you will say, "Oh, no, that's not true." Well, sometimes it's not. And that's true. If I'm really, truly sick and miserable, I want to be as comfortable and cozy as absolutely possible. And that's good. But if I have to go out and I have to do something, then going out in my sweatpants and my sweatshirt, which for me is totally comfy and cozy, but I don't feel like I look my best. And I don't get a lot of good responses about, "Wow, don't you look great in that sweatsuit and sweatshirt?" So that's why partly we want to dress up. But also, when I was a corporate trainer and I wore my suits that made me feel like Katharine Hepburn, oh yeah, I was a lot more confident and a lot more right there. And even if I wasn't, I was able to portray that image more so. We are planning to have a friend of mine who has so showed this in the different clothes he wears, and he gets it.
Mm-hmm.
That if I need to be before this group of people, I kind of dress down. If I need to be in front of this group of people, I'll dress up more. I'll be more formal for this occasion. I'll be less formal for this occasion because the people I'm talking to also need to be comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all us. Don't get me wrong here. We're not putting on a play or an image because me in my sweats is the same person as me in my designer by me outfit. Okay. The difference is how I feel inside. And how I feel inside comes across to all the people I'm around. We can
So,
call them our audience, but really, they're just all the people we're around.
so how does alterations fit into this?
Alterations make our stuff fit us perfectly.
Hmm.
They hide, my favorite saying is alterations are camouflage. They hide what we want to hide and they accentuate what we want to accentuate. In our world, we have a big struggle between, as females, between being that curvy girl, which people mean fat, or being slender and thin and looking beautiful. The problem is, those slender, thin people have as many problems as those people who are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
It's just what we do to hide those problems. If somebody doesn't have as large a bust as somebody else, one of those two or both are going to feel like they have a deficit. Neither do, in actual fact. We are just who we are.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not something we take to heart. We always want something different. Now, if it's something we can change, that's great. Like yesterday, I only had one curl standing up on top of my head like a unicorn. This is not how I want to look. Today, see, I just spiked them all up to match that unicorn hair. All right, so I could change that. I camouflaged my unicorn horn so that I felt more confident. So that's just with hair. I can change that, right? But I can't change a lot of times if I'm thin, or I can't change immediately if I'm heavy. And I can't always be comfortable in any of those spots.
Mm-hmm.
And none of us, even if we are quote unquote perfectly formed, feel that we are. There's something about ourselves we don't like. With makeup and contouring, I can make my face look less round or less drawn if you have a long face. I can make my nose look bigger or smaller. I can do a lot of stuff with makeup. I can even contour down in here where right now I'm kind of a little swollen because, or inflamed, I guess is a new word, because I'm carrying a lot of water retention due to having had allergy issues over the last week in my neck. Usually my neck isn't quite this double chinned and wide. But that's just things that happen, right? And we can change those. It's the same thing with clothes. And that's why, as a seamstress, I love to do alterations. I love to do custom stuff because people want to wear certain things and yet they won't because they've been told you can't wear round stripes if you're heavy. Some people can.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, all stripes should go up and down. If you're super, super thin, you may not want to be striped up and down, especially if you happen to be 6'4". Most of us as females have a hard time being above about 5'8". We all
Mm-hmm.
feel like we're too tall. Just because I've talked to a ton of people that have felt that way over many, 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 many years. I've been sewing since I was 6. So I've been doing this for people for a long time and talking about sewing and fabric and clothes and how we wear them. So it really depends on what you want. Anna over there, when she was little, would be banned to 7 colors or patterns on her body at one time. She was a very bright child. Hard to tell with what she's wearing now, but she was a very bright child. But it's like, if you have more than that, we can't see you. You're just a blob of color.
I got all my kicks out of it when I was little. Now I'm very drab.
You're not drab. You're just not quite as bright.
Much
as you
more
used to
muted.
be.
How about that?
Muted, yes. Yeah, I mean, and she took that from her clothes to her bedroom. If we want to, and they use this a lot in theater, if you want to accentuate somebody, one way to do it is you can put a light on them, right? Shine the lights on them. Get the perfect lighting with color and all so that that person that's centered in the lights looks magnificent. The other way to do it is when we're in our home, we get an interior decorator, ourselves or others, and we get the right colored couch with the right colored wall and curtains so that when I sit on this couch, I am accented perfectly. That's what we do with clothes. If you are working in a preschool, you don't have to be drab because drab isn't a color. It's not a combination of colors. Drab is something that's not noticed.
Hmm.
So I'm working in a preschool. I want kids to be happy around me, right? So what am I going to wear? One of the things I can do is wear patterns and prints that are child friendly. But you don't want to do that? That's fine. Wear colors that are bright. And that doesn't mean you have to wear red and fluorescent yellow. It means wear a color that makes you look bright. Because children actually love faces. Faces are their favorite thing in the whole world. That's
That's why
how they
they're always
connect to you.
nose to nose with you when they're telling you a story.
Yes. Anna's a child whisperer in our family. One of them. We actually have quite a
One of them.
few. And the kids all want to be right here, right? Because they want to be right there where all the action is. When we have an expressive face, people want to talk to us. They want to be around us. When we smile, people want to be around us. So when we wear things that cause everything to come up to our face where we're expressing ourselves, then that's great. Now, if you don't want to be seen, what would you do? Anna?
I don't know. I'm still learning in my new area, but because part of it's regional.
There is a lot of regional to it because in some parts regionally, if and culturally, if you show off your shoulders, this is not good.
Mm-hmm.
If you show off, excuse me, if you show off your arms, that's really bad. I come from Northern California. It was really hot there all the time growing up. I hardly ever wore sleeves.
Yep.
But living up in the Pacific Northwest now, I wear sleeves a lot because, for one thing, it's a lot colder. But I find up here that people have more of an
Respond
issue.
different.
Yeah, if you have you a tank top on, for instance, it's seen as a class or social thing.
In Alaska, it was legs. If you wore shorts, it was very abnormal, mostly because it's so cold all the time. But yeah, wearing shorts even in the summer was kind of like, oh wow, that's a lot of knee.
Um, different eras of time.
Mm-hmm.
So age groups, there's different things. Like to people my mother's age, somebody my age should not wear a mini skirt. It, it it's less now across the board in the United States, but there's still a lot of that going on. But what you would do if you don't want to be showing yourself. So we're going to say it this way. If you want to be a spy on the world around you, you want to sit in the corner on the wall and just watch what happens. You don't want people to notice you. So what do? You wear something that draws less attention to yourself. For instance, if I were to put on gray, I could totally blend. Really, if I want to blend though, I put on coral.
Mm.
Coral, whoosh, I'm gone. And now you can't even see my hair unless it's shining in the sunshine. But my hair used to be black, believe it or not. And I was in a wedding one time, did not realize this until I saw the pictures. And literally, I just blended in except for my black hair and the black shoes we wore for the wedding. I'm so glad I didn't know that before the wedding. I would have felt terrible. I would have felt inconsequential because really I didn't show up. I blended in. So we all have colors that are like that. Now, if I just want to look ill for some reason, I don't know why anybody would want to do that, I wear yellow. I literally kind of look green around the gills. So that's not a color I can wear.
I was just trying to think of what I wear when I'm trying to not be noticed that's held through the years, and it's usually a ball cap of some kind, and it doesn't have to be a hoodie, but more of a casual type sweater, and at least capri length pants, usually long pants.
And some of that is because you happen to be a taller young lady.
Yeah.
You're somewhere around 5'8" to 5'10". The doctors always argue. Don't know what to tell you.
I'm 5'7 3/4", apparently.
She's not. So,
I stopped wearing my heels, I might be.
I don't think so. As your mother. But being tall, or if you have a long leg, if you wear something that's shorter, people are going to notice that because it's not the norm.
Yeah.
If you're me, and this happened one time in college, I went with my friend who was Japanese to her Japanese youth group. And I'm 5'5", and I wore a pair of boots with a 2-inch heel. And everybody came about my shoulders. Makes me very noticeable, right? If you're really short, how do you get noticed? Because people tend to overlook shorter people.
Literally and figuratively.
Yes. But how many short people do you know that have a wow personality?
A lot, actually.
It's because they can be seen.
Yep.
Well, our clothes can help with that. Knowing what colors to wear is always good. Having them fit properly is always good.
Mm-hmm.
And
That
being
makes a
able
huge
to,
difference.
yes, because being able to show off what we want versus what we don't want always helps. And yes, if you're big and you want to show off your waist because you actually still have an hourglass figure, even if you're big, some of us do, we can accentuate the waist without accentuating the tummy. If you have a large booty that you don't really want to be showing off, we can balance that with how we fit your clothes so that you look more balanced with the top, which may not be as big as your booty. So it's less noticeable. It's okay. If you have narrow shoulders, there's a way to make them look a little larger. Anna has on the top, she's short from her shoulder to her waist. And yet she's long from her waist to the ground. Really long.
All legs.
So when she goes shopping, it's a exercise in frustration and has been
Mm-hmm.
in her entire life. Lucky for her, her mom was a seamstress. Because everything looks like it's empire styled.
Well, and what I'm running into recently, trying to shop for blouses, is I'm a large person. I'm overweight, but I still have very narrow shoulders, and everything made in the plus size department is made assuming that I'm going to have large shoulders, and I don't. So then it's always really baggy right through here because I'm short through here and narrow through there. And
Yeah.
then it never fits right.
So as she got older, she'd end up shopping petite in the top
Yeah.
and extra long in the bottom.
Yep.
That's a very frustrating thing. And to balance that out, what you do is you drop the waist.
Mm-hmm.
So her waist in all her clothes is never at her waist. Unless
Never.
she wants to wear an empire styled dress.
If we were in the Regency, I would be killing it. I'd be totally perfect.
Yeah. So, there are definitely ways to do things. And we don't want to get this way too long, so we're going to just wind it up here, though. But why I do, what I personally sew, and why I love my customers is because I get to help them feel better about themselves just by making their clothes fit. It's one of the ways to help us feel better about ourselves. And if our clothes fit, we'll wear them.
Yep.
How many times have you pulled something out of the closet, put it on, and then took it back off? Or you've done this enough, you've pulled it out of the closet and went, oh yeah, that doesn't fit. That doesn't look good. And you hang it back up. So if you have things that you love, go find your special seamstress, one that'll fix it for you. This is Ruthie of Ruthie Case and Anna
Of RK Artisans.
with so much talk.